Good morning. Welcome to episode 6 of Sunday Brunch with Luke. I am here with Jesse Lee Pritt, and we're going to find out a little bit about him and where he comes from. If I understand right, he's an Indiana boy, transplanted to West Virginia, and we're going to hear all about that transplant, where he came up with his music, what motivates him, and just learn about him and his music. Jesse,
all right.
I'm going to give it to you, buddy.
Hey, man. Yeah. So, I'm originally from Indiana. I'm from a town called Martinsville, Indiana, which is a fascinating place. Geographically, anyways, it's actually part of a glacial dome that this glacier carved out the town, and then everything melted, so on and so forth. And so it's very hilly and things like that. The elevation there's parts of it that are higher than they are in Charleston.
Really?
Yeah, so the average elevation's like slightly higher in that town in Indiana.
I had no idea. I've been to Indiana a few times. My daughter lived in Wabash.
Yeah.
And the Wabash Cannonball always, of course, comes to mind.
Yeah.
But it's flat. I mean, everywhere that I was there was flat, and it's a grid. And so, when we drive in West Virginia, we drive around rivers and mountains.
Yeah.
When you drive there, you drive in these square checkered patterns.
Exactly. Well,
every now and then you'll see a catty-cornered road.
Well, and even then, like inside of that town, I grew up in a cornfield section of the town. So there's cornfields and soybean fields there as well. It's very flat once you're in the town, but it's the surrounding of the town that's extremely hilly. So I lived next to something called the Morgan Monroe State Forestry, which is a 68,000 square acre forest that spans all the way from my hometown to Bloomington. You could walk without ever leaving that forest and go there, and it's actually studied quite a bit by by a lot of the colleges in the area for the biology departments and things like that. Conservationists use it quite a bit. It has some of the most diverse soil in the United States. It's the most diverse soil in Indiana, and you'll often be able to find geodes, gemstones, fossils are everywhere in the creeks there. It's a fascinating place.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Younger Dryas?
With where?
The Younger Dryas?
No.
The Younger Dryas, 11,500 years ago, there was the Younger Dryas period, they call it. And basically it's when the glaciers, there's all kind of discrepancy about how long it took the glaciers to melt.
Yeah.
Some people like 20,000 years and stuff like that. But there's some other information out there. Trying to think of the gentleman's name that I like to follow. But he's always talking about, why can I not get his name in my head? Anyway, he's always talking about the Younger Dryas period and how that the glaciers, he believes, melted in approximately 500 years. And that all these valleys and stuff in West Virginia and all across this country, basically, that all of that mass that was in the 5 Great Lakes area, I'm sure you've looked at the map of what the continent looked like before the ice melted.
Yeah.
All those masses formed so many of these canyons and gullies and stuff here in West Virginia and across the whole United States. So what you're talking about makes a lot of sense to me. And I can honestly get excited and talk about that and just go there the rest of the day.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that was something that I did this video thing with a TV station here, and I wish I could take it back, but on this live television thing, not the thing, it was great, the thing, but they were talking, and I got off on a tangent about like how they have found caverns in West Virginia where they're like, we can't find these fossil records that would usually be in these cave systems, and like, when we don't know why there's not the fossils here that we think there should be, and it's because those cave systems are older than bones, and like that bones had evolutionarily developed, and so like the mountains in West Virginia are older than bones, and it's the same thing with like how much petrified wood you'll find in Appalachia, especially like the Blue Ridge Mountains area. The Blue Ridge Mountains are one part of the reasons that they say they're so blue is that there's so much biomass that collected before, like things like fungus and all that were like decaying the trees and all that, and so now all that collected biomass is doing it at once, and especially a few hundred years ago, whenever Europeans would have been seeing these, and they're like there was so much of that blue from that decaying biomass that had built up over millions of years.
Wow, interesting. You know a lot of things that I don't know. I don't know as much about that.
I just get off on tangents. And my family is very into nature. My family, I have a couple relatives that work in conservation, and I grew up around all that stuff. So I find that kind of fascinating.
There's so much to explore in West Virginia. I get very excited. Have you driven over to the Scenic Highway, over towards Marlington, and any of that?
I don't know if I have. What part of West Virginia is that one?
So you know where Richwood is?
Oh, yeah.
Summersville, where I'm from?
Oh, yeah. I go to Summer Hills for shows sometimes.
Okay, so if you go to Summersville and go over the mountain towards Richwood, then there's an old road that takes you back up to Marlington.
Okay.
And when you get to, I'm having a hard time remembering names of things today. But if you're going towards Marlington, you'll see the West Virginia Visitor Center for the Scenic Highway.
Okay.
And you turn left there, and it crosses over. It's a road that's not meant for trucks or anything. It's just for scenic traffic, and it's just gorgeous. There's so many trails across there. But as you're driving across there, you can see the ridgeline, and you can see the step downs of it, and the striations where the water has run down the mountains and caused all these canyons and hollers.
That's so wild.
It's such a perspective to see it, because you're up on top of one ridge and you're looking across the long valley to see the next ridge, and just to see the nature and how that mountain developed.
Yeah.
It's just such a marker of the water that once covered this part of the earth.
Oh yeah, well, and you're standing on top of hundreds of thousands, millions of years of progress of with all, like you said, those stacks, like every stack down is just, hundreds of thousands or millions of years of history that you're standing on, and it's much more visible that way. I mean, I guess we're always standing on it no matter where we are with, whatever's below us, but to be able to see it that way in such plain sight, I think is beautiful.
Yeah, it kind of takes me to the thought of perspective. Everybody has a different perspective, and when you're on these mountains, whether you're on it or whether you're away from it looking at it, the perspective is different. And so we can really be in the mountains and not necessarily appreciate them.
Yeah, for sure.
So I love that you're into all that stuff, and I could honestly not talk about music and just do that all day. But I love music too. So,
oh man!
So I'm going to give it back to you. You tell me what you want to tell me.
Oh man, I don't know what I want to say. I mean, so I guess a little bit about me, music-wise. I grew up with country music, a lot of older stuff. I was a baritone by the time I was 11, and so I really leaned into like Johnny Cash whenever I was younger, and then just over time, stadium country, I call it the post 9/11 country. Sucks. I don't like stadium country at all. And so I really fell out of country music in general. And I had plans when I was younger. My father, he was my stepfather, but he was just my father. He was a Marine, and my grandfather was in the Army, and then so on and so forth. And I was like, I will join the military. And then when I was 14, I broke my knee into 4 pieces. It was a clean split T, and they had to put screws back together. And I've had several surgeries trying to fix it. It's not fixed, but they had to screw my kneecap back together. Then they had to remove the screws because they were too long, and the swelling didn't account for it. I've had some stuff like muscle tumors and stuff removed from there, and just so much stuff. And when I was about 16, I was talking to this recruiter and all that stuff, and he was like, "You're not joining the military." And he was like, "You're a 4F citizen now." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," because that was my I really wanted to do that.
Did you say a 4F?
4F, yeah. You have some kind of disability that disallows you, or unless you sign like a waiver, and if you sign a waiver, you're just responsible if something happens because of your disability. Like there are some that are straight up you cannot join. And that was one I may have had that choice, but I wasn't going to take the risk. My father, who was a Marine, was like, "Don't do that." That's how you end up in military prison if something does go wrong. So I did not do that, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I started getting a little bit more into music whenever I was injured because I couldn't wrestle anymore. And then I was like, I really have no plan for anything, and started doing music a little bit more. And then whenever I turned 18, I left home, and I was kind of living in I lived in a park for a little while, and it's called Jimmy Nash Park, and there's a gazebo on the top of Jimmy Nash Park, and one of those big hill areas I was talking about, it's at the top of that. And so I would stay up there for a little while, and then I cut my leg on something, and I was walking down the road, and it was starting to get kind of angry that that cut was, and a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, why don't you come hang out with me for a little while?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And we did, and his mom came home, and he's like, "You're homeless." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Stay on my couch for a bit." It was like a week, and then I stayed with my friend after that I was lifelong friends with. Stayed on with their family for a little while, and I just kept trying to find like purpose. What was I going to do? And then I started going really intensely to church, and I'd gone to church my entire life. I got picked up by it. To kind of tell you the culture where I was from, and my family in general, I was playing outside with my brother one day, and we were like 4 and 5 years old, and the neighbor comes up, and he drove the church bus, and he was like, "Hey, want to go to church?" I was like, "I guess." And we went to church that Sunday morning while my mom was still asleep. And we come home around noon 1, and she's like, "Where have you guys been? What have you been doing?" Because it wasn't uncommon for us to be gone at that age, just outside playing by ourselves, like either in the cornfield or in the forestry I was talking about. And and she's like, "Where have you guys been?" And I was like, "We were at church, and we lived outside of town." And she's like, "You guys have been in town?" She's like, "Who took you?" I was like, "Ron Rooker took us from down the road." And she lit into him about that. She's like, "You got to ask me before you take my boys." And they knew each other. Like he was much older than her, but they knew each other her whole life. She's like, "Yeah, ask me about that, Ron. You can't just take my boys into town."
That would be a little shocking.
Yeah. And he's like, "Okay, noted." And I went to church there until I was 16.
Okay.
And then I started going to church a little more whenever I started kind of getting settled when I turned 18. Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of people telling me that I had the gift of music and all that, and I had a lot of people telling me how to use it. And it was all like everyone said I had to use it to glorify God. So I went to college for world religions and for music, and I went for like general voice, and then I started focusing more on classical and like operatic kind of stuff. And I, while I was there, really focused and honed in on that. Did some music theater things here and there, paid me money, and then ended up. I was like, I'm going to be a minister. I'm going to be a pastor. And I did children's ministry, and I did music ministry stuff. And then I woke up one day, and I was in class. And there's two levels of people at most colleges that are studying world religions. Mm-hmm. There are very hardcore conservative Christian types and stoners. And I was the stoner.
Okay.
And so I was sitting in class, and we were talking about God is the concept of everything in a philosophy of religions class. Mm-hmm. And I looked out the window, and I was like, and I saw a squirrel sitting on this tree out there, this oak tree. And I was like, that squirrel is eating an acorn on that oak tree. That squirrel, if what our theory is, we're talking about, if there is, assuming that's correct, that means that squirrel's God. And that means that squirrel is eating an acorn that is God. And I have eaten squirrels, and so I have eaten God. And I was going off on a tangent in my head. I don't know what my poor professor was talking about up there anymore. But I got off on a tangent in my head, and I was like, oh man. I was like, I don't think that I can put God in a box and sell it anymore.
That's interesting.
And so I gave up on ministry in general. I was just like, I can't do it, and it started a downward spiral on that of I can't do it. And then my final straw was a girl that I was with at the time. She had a podcast, and that podcast she said swear words, and they said that I needed to get her under control if I wanted to continue to work with this church, and I said no. And then at that point I was like, I'm done after everything. And just left a big hole in my life with music, because if I wasn't going to use it to, I didn't like country anymore, right. And if I wasn't going to do it to glorify God, I kind of dabbled with some things. I did some stuff with like rock and roll. I did some stuff with blues and all of that, and I just never was like happy long term. And then I had a buddy that we were sitting around a campfire playing old songs like Willie Nelson. We were playing Johnny Cash and stuff like that, Wayne and Jennings. And he starts playing a song, and he's like, "Have you heard this one?" I was like, "No." I was like, "If it was written after, the 70s, then I probably don't really like it, except for the occasional, 2000s tune, early 90s tune." And I was like, "I really like the way that sounds," and he just showed me the artist, and I was like, "What's this guy's name?" He's like, "It's Tyler Childers."
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Man," I was like, "It sounds really good. I wish there was more country like that." He's like, "There is. People are getting back into that." I was like, "Okay." And I had, really become a fan of folk music. I had become a fan, I was a longtime fan of country music. I had really become a fan also in my time studying music of like Celtic and Irish music and stuff like that, and punk music. And I just started kind of playing around with stuff when I moved to West Virginia. I took a long break, like I said, from music, and I came to West Virginia, and I was like, I'm just going to try an open mic thing, and in Clay County, in the middle of nowhere. And some guy was like, "Hey, come play a 2-hour set." I was like, "Cool."
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, and I just started doing stuff. I started writing more, and it started really making sense.
So what brought you to West Virginia, if I might interrupt?
Yeah, no, for sure. You got to interrupt me now and again. I'll just keep talking. So my wife's family has been here, owned a property in Clay County for 130 years.
Oh, nice.
And we went there to trying to, homestead and all of that stuff, and do a little bit of farm work and all of that, and then also work from home. And then we wanted to raise our daughter somewhere else other than Indiana. And my wife was pregnant, and God bless her, she was pregnant while we were getting this farmhouse set up and building fence and getting all these animals and everything else. Yeah. And then we moved here all the way, and then she had our child not long after that, and we just continued on. We kept going, and I really loved the seclusion. Yeah. My wife did not, but we had kind of met on this thing of if after a few years, if you don't enjoy living out here, we'll find somewhere else. But we fell in love with West Virginia. And the final kind of nail in our coffin, other than with the drought that happened last year, we had to have water delivered all the time, and we had a kid, and it always came down to that.
That's a tough way to live.
Yeah, and the farmhouse we were living in, one person was able to shower per day, one with and the water pressure was terrible, and that was killing my wife, and it was cold, and it always came down though to our daughter. And we sat down, we talked. I was like, I can live like this. I've lived, much rougher than this before. But just because I want to do that doesn't mean it's fair to my kid.
Right.
And are we giving her the best opportunities? There's no one hardly in her age group here. She's, an hour away from a library. She is, away from other kids and opportunities. And so, in social programs that, might be able to benefit her with education and all that. And so we decided that we wanted to move to the Charleston area, and we made that happen very quickly. It was a month from the time we decided that we were going to do it till move in. We sat down, decided it, reached out, and me and her are both go-getters to a flaw at times. And we moved in here, and we've really been happy ever since.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's working for you.
Yeah, for sure. We love it. And me and her, we do check-ins on stuff like that. We are scheduled. We have to schedule things, or else things just don't happen.
That's really good.
Yeah. So we have scheduled check-ins, and it'll be are you still happy in West Virginia? And the answer's always been yes.
Good.
No other need to go anywhere else. We love it here.
That's great. That's beautiful. Tell me, play something for me.
Oh, man.
Now, the other day, I first met you at the Empty Glass.
All wrapped up.
And
thank you.
You were playing a song that I've tried to figure out the name to. Is it about Sad Boys, or is it Sad Boys?
Oh, what was it about? What's it about?
It was the first song you played that set that was your own song.
Was it Freckled Angel? Let me play a line from it. And actually, let me get.
Well, just play the whole thing. No matter what it is, I want to hear it. So
let me get her tuned up, because I had this set last night. Actually.
So where did you play last night?
Empty Glass again.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like to hang out there. Honestly,
it's a good place to hang out.
Yeah. We can cut this. boring stuff.
No, I don't like to cut anything. I like
No.
I like all the rough stuff. I put all the stuff in there that we don't want in there.
Oh no! I gotta really watch my mouth. This podcast is brought to you by Martin. If only they would sponsor.
All right.
All
My
right.
dad hand built a replica of a D35.
Oh really?
It might have been a D28. It's been a minute since I can't remember now.
Man, I've got a friend that her dad was the banjo player for Ricky Skaggs, and her mom's also a musician. And we were sitting there one day just kind of jamming out, which is an experience in itself. And we're jamming out and all that stuff. She lets me play our Martin, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. And I looked up the price tag on that Martin. I was like, you shouldn't let me near it. I'm not responsible enough for that.
I have that feeling about a lot of things.
Yeah. Let's try this Freckled Angel. This might be what you're talking about. To move this. Oh no, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I gotta move that around.
Do
Or
what
else
you
it's
need to
gonna
do.
scratch my strings. Let's try that again.
Tell me about the song. Tell me where that comes from.
Man, so that one comes from, I grew up with one of my mom's friends. She had a daughter that me and her a lot of similarities. I don't want to give too much away on it for anybody that might watch it, out of respect for her and her family, but
Right.
we had a lot of similarities. She was like my first kiss. We grew up since we were like 7 together, and she was my first love, all that. And I was sitting there, and over time she had kind of been asking me for money here and there, when I was in college, and then we lost contact because she'd be like, "I need this," and I'd refer her instead of just giving her money because I knew what was going on. I was like, "Hey, I work with this, this place. They work with like homeless people. They work with people with low income. Like they can help you with resources." Because I worked with the homeless community for a long time, and when I moved to West Virginia, I'm not active as much as I should be anymore. But I was like, I've got resources, and after that, the well ran dry on that end. We lost contact, and I got a call from my mom. And my mom was like, "Hey, so-and-so passed away." And it was a heroin overdose. And she took enough heroin to kill her multiple times over. And it was a very jarring situation because she had gone to the hospital from overdose, came home, and then after that had done it. And so I got 2 phone calls on that one. And there was missing communication on the first one. And it's funny enough, that's my wife's favorite song, and it's the guitar line, I think, more than anything, that she really likes that. But like, that one, I try to write stuff that's like personal to me.
That's very deep.
Thanks. And there's some stuff that I write that's so silly and stupid, but that kind of stuff is, I think, important to get out there.
There's, I guess I got some stuff I can't talk about, but yeah.
But yeah, that's that one. I've got a few. I was at an open mic the other day, and I played another Sad Boy song at it, and there's this guy. It tickled me pink. I played 2 sad ones in a row. I was going to end with a happy one. He's like, "No, go ahead and play the sad one." He's like, "Why don't you play the sad song next?" And I was laughing, and some woman got mad at him. She's like, "Oh, you stop it." I was like, "Why? That's funny as hell. Leave that man alone." But I've got another one that I'm releasing, not on February 6th. I'm going to be releasing this one that's coming out then. But then I've got another one that's a Sad Boy song that's coming out in April. Okay. Beginning of April, we're going to be releasing another one that's real minimalistic. It's just a guitar and fiddle kind of thing with vocals and all that.
Play that one for us?
Oh, I can try it. Gotta find it fast. It's the way I'm living. That's that sad boy song.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. That I've got some that aren't so sad as well. I've got some silly songs. I've got some songs that are a little more intense. I don't know if you can tell from the background, but I like spooky stuff and macabre stuff.
I kind of got that.
Yeah, that's right. I've got a cow pelvis that I turned into a mask there.
Okay.
And I found that at a buddy's farm.
Oh wow.
I've got that, a deer skull I got from random from the place. That turtle shell there I found on the last day actually at the farm. Okay. I was going to leave and I found that turtle shell. And so like I like that kind of stuff. I just like spooky things. So I've got some songs that are more spooky on there as well that online, especially TikTok, everyone like really likes the spooky. Oh man, this has a spooky song. Which one do I want to do? Let's try. I tell you what. This is the one that's going to be coming out February 6th. This is the full band. That one's for a storyline that someone is doing that I wrote. I kind of got commissioned to do a part of that song,
okay.
And I just decided to keep going with it and do the whole thing. And for me, so that song, I hear so many people blame like the devil on everything that I feel like people sometimes do not take accountability. That it's the devil in you.
The boogeyman.
Yeah, it's the boogeyman, and it's like, well, I don't know, like maybe just don't drink as much. He's got the devil in him. It's like, I don't know if it's the devil, and you might be able to say that the devil influenced you to do it, but like, there's just things. I had a fella one time, actually, we were talking about, I was trying to like get help and reach out whenever I was younger, and I reached out to him because I used to have a major problem with like drinking and anger, and you know, and I was talking to him. I was like, hey man, like what do I do? And he was a pastor, and he started talking about my past and all that stuff. He's like, you know, you've gone through it, man. He's like, he's like, you got to exercise that stuff out. I was like, yeah, I guess you're kind of right, but like, how do you do that? You know, and in day-to-day life, he's like, no, man, you got to literally exercise the demons out of you. I was like, what? And he was like, whenever you have that stuff happen, it causes demons to attach to you. And I was like, I just think that I didn't have a good childhood. Like, I don't know if we need to talk about like demons or anything with it. And he was like, no, that's what it is. He's like, it's those demons that cling on to you. And it's like, you're no help. Just another like...
I've had some of this conversation.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't think that's it. I think that I'm just kind of an asshole right now. I don't know what I can say on here.
You can say the
okay. I was like, I think I'm just kind of an asshole. And like, and it's that thing of like, yeah, things sucked when I was a kid, but like, I'm an adult, like at this point, it took me a long time to like work through that stuff and be like a functional adult, because I didn't want to like live in that forever.
Can I ask you what helped you as far as dissolving the anger and moving out of that phase of your life? What was it that helped you the most to get rid of that anger?
Therapy. So honestly, I went through, I was married once before, and I had a really nasty divorce. Like I'm not going to talk a whole lot on her. She was not great, but I was not great. Like, It was one of the things that we just were like spiraled human beings, like doing the worst of the worst kind of things to each other. And I grew I say worst of the worst, nothing criminal, like, but like I decided I wanted to go to therapy and all that stuff, and started to slowly grow through that and learning to like self-recognize all of that stuff. And what I kind of found, and what really helped me, was like realizing almost everything comes down to fear.
Very true.
Yeah,
Wow.
like so much of it is just like needing a feeling of security, and then like, how do we handle that need of security? Is it running away from anything that feels insecure? Is it grasping that and being like, I'm going to hold on to this, I'll make it secure, like, and then recognize that, and then recognizing like all of the things can be true. You could have the worst life ever, you could have the best life ever, but you are still responsible for your actions.
Absolutely.
Everyone has the right to their feelings. But like you have the right to your feelings, but you also are responsible for how you handle those feelings and the actions you take because of them.
Absolutely.
And it took a lot of that. It took a lot of just trying to grow, man. And really wanting it. Like, because I remember I was sitting with my therapist at one point, and we're talking about life and all that. I was like, I don't think I'm a good person. And
I think I've said that line to my therapist
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
you're not by yourself on that one.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't know. I can't tell you that. I was like, I don't think I am. And because she didn't want to be like, yes or no. Like, yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Or be like, no, and it's been me. She's like, you need to find out for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, I'm not a good person. And I was like, and I wrote down a list of things for myself that I was like, well, this is what I think a good man should be. And so I started trying to follow that. Like, well, this is what a good man I think should be. Like, and if I think that that's what a good man should be, I should be it. And trying to practice that every day, until finally one day I was able to stand in the mirror and look at myself and be like, you're a good man. Like,
that's beautiful.
And it took a long time. It really did.
Do you have the list or a part of this that you feel like that you would be comfortable sharing?
Gosh, it's on my phone on a notes thing.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but
No, you're good. You're good.
It's interesting.
I'm gonna look up man.
By the way, when I was trying to remember the guy's name a while ago that talks about all the history and the Younger Dryas period, it's Graham Hancock. If you get a chance, go to YouTube and look up Graham Hancock. Oh my gosh, his stuff is so interesting.
I haven't looked at this in a while, and maybe I should look at it again, because I don't want to also get caught in the resting in the laurels of progress. But this notes app has so much in it.
I don't use mine enough. I like that you're using it.
I use it for everything.
I need to.
And if you want to, unfortunately I like to write a lot. So when I type in the word man, there it is. Be gentle is number one. And I think that this is something I've talked with my wife about. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Be gentle, because men love to say how they're protectors. We are the protectors of blah blah blah, our families, but like they just they're ready for a grizzly attack kind of thing. They try to live on that edge of like, I have to fight somewhere, and it's like, no, you got to protect your family as well, like their security, their emotions. Like, you have to be a protector, not just of the imaginary boogeyman. So that for me was number one. Be a good listener is on there. Read 3 books a year as a minimum is a thing I have on there as well. Like, you should try to be a learned person. Foster understanding is a rule on there. Some of them are just like, not always look for the nonviolent option, and that for me was very like important, because violence used to be the number one answer for me. And then I think for me, like, the turning point on that was I got into a confrontation with someone, and like this dude was beating the brakes off of me at this party. Like, I was trying to leave. There was no fight that had happened before that, and it started off like kind of fun and like casual. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna head out, guys. I'll see you. He's like, no, come on, man, stay, hang out. And I was like, no, I'm good. And he was like, no, you need to stay. He's like, we're all just hanging out, having a good time. And I was like, man, you're really drunk. Like, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, let's just calm down. And he grabbed me behind my pants, and a brand new pair of pants I just bought, and I fucking ripped them, and like ripped the ass out of them. And he punched me, and I was like, what are you doing? And he's just hitting me and stuff like that. And I finally grab him from under the arms, and I pick him up, and I'm holding him up against the wall. I was like, stop hitting me. I was like, stop it. And like any other part of me before would have just like railed him, like just nailed him in the jaw. And I just picked him up instead. I was like, stop. I will see you tomorrow. And I put him down and I walked away. And I was like, for me, like that was the first moment I can think of in my life where I just purposefully chose like a peaceful option in a very violent situation. So I made that a part of my thing. Let's see. Learn a trade or a skill, even if it's not your dream job, is a thing on there. So have something to fall back on. Something that even if you don't love it, like that you can pay the bills with while you pursue your dreams. Just stuff like that. Celebrate victories, learn from defeats. Let's see. Boundaries is another one. Like learning what a boundary is, learning to set boundaries, and learning to respect other people's boundaries, and learning to walk away is another one that I have on there. Like from not just people, but like situations. Walk away from like things that sometimes you're banging your head against the wall that you don't need to be banging your head against the wall about. Like that, I think that's
very much
important.
identify.
Yeah. Well, and I think that we get this idea of like, no, a man will just do it. And like that's the difference. Like I believe in masculinity, but I also believe in toxic masculinity, and I believe in positive masculinity.
I tried to be a good dad. I've got 3 daughters, and my kids are probably. How old are you? I never asked.
Oh gosh, I'm 33.
Okay, I've got kids older than you. Then
Okay.
I never even thought about how old you were until. But I've got a daughter that was born in 1990, and one in 94, and one in 97. So I've got an array of children. 7 years apart from oldest to youngest. But as they were growing up, I tried to be a good dad, and I look back now and see all the mistakes and everything that I did wrong. And it's too late at this point. But I absolutely love my children, and I know where you're coming from there. And one of the things I wanted to ask you, as a child, I grew up listening to my dad play music, and there was just certain songs that he played for us kids. Do you have one that you play for your daughter?
We play a lot of silly songs. Like she really loves like the. Oh, I forgot to tune down.
Would you say the name?
Oh, like Down by the Bay.
I thought you said Rishu. The name, your daughter's name?
Oh, Ruby.
Ruby. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I got her tattooed here on my arm. Actually, the tattoo I've got there, Ruby June.
Is her birthday June or?
Oh no, Ruby June's her name.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 of my wife's grandparents' names, but there into one. But we do all that silly stuff like Down by the Bay, where the watermelons grow, like that kind of stuff. Back to my home, I dare not go, but if I do, my mama will say, have you ever seen a whale chasing its tail? Down by the bay, like that kind of silly stuff.
That's great.
I have She likes that. She's gotten to the point where she can recognize my voice, and so if I'm listening to a mix of something, like taking her to school, she'd be like, "Sounds like Daddy."
How old is she?
She's 3.
Okay.
She just started learning like to match pitch with us and stuff like that as well. We're teaching the solfege scale because my wife's a musician as well.
Okay.
And so we are like, you will have some musical talent without driving her crazy with it. I did write a song for her called Ruby's Lullaby whenever she was born. Let me find that. I might have to scroll a little bit on it because I haven't sang it in forever. But I've been actually meaning to record it this next like year or so. I want to get this song down. Days left young, and a brand new day is dawning. But first we settle down and rest our head. You're loved and you're adored, and so much lies in store. Tomorrow when you wake up in your bed. So here's a lullaby just for you. Special nighttime song for early June. Now the birds have stopped their singing, and the sun has left the sky, and the moon reflects the blue on the cloud. All for Ruby's lullaby. Stars glow in the sky, and the day it says goodbye. Promises to come back again. Mountains are asleep, and the trees are counting sheep, and the river rushes by its, oh man, river rushes by its slumbering friends. The wind howls and sings a lovely tune. A song I wrote for you, Roomy June. Owls ask the questions, and the world says goodnight, and the day ends to bring a new tomorrow. Off for Ruby's lullaby. Off for Ruby's lullaby. So don't you worry about tomorrow. Just close your heavy eyes. I'll be here when songbirds start again. All for Ruby's lullaby.
That's beautiful.
Thanks. Other than the chords that I haven't played that in a while, but I've been meaning to get that one down. Gosh, fatherhood.
You're talking about being a good listener there, and that's where I was going with talking about my kids. Was, you know, as they were growing up in school and everything, I would ask them in the evenings, you know, how their day was and stuff. But
Yeah.
I just never quite made that click, and it sounds like you're on a good path there. And I have to give you your credit for that.
Thanks. I try. It's an everyday thing. Like,
Absolutely.
we struggle so much. Like how I was raised. One of the fights that my wife and I had before our daughter was born, where I wasn't being a good listener, and then I finally, like, in the middle of the conversation, was like, I need to shut up. Was we were talking about like gifts, and I think back to it, and I was like, oh man, I was an ass for this opinion. Whenever I was a kid, like, we didn't just get random gifts. Like, if we went to the store, like, my mom or my dad would not be like, here you go, we thought of you. Or if you didn't ask for anything too. You wouldn't go to the store and be like, hey, can I grab this Transformer toy? It didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so she was talking, and I was like, yeah, but whenever she turns about 5, she needs to start working on, like, doing something for, like, the neighbors and all that. She's like, why? I was like, for money. And I was like, and she's like, well, I mean, yeah. She's like, it would be a good idea to save, and she could do little, like, chores and stuff like that and learn. I was like, yeah. And she was like, but what does she need money for? I was like, well, if she wants to buy things And she was like, what is she gonna buy? And I was like, anything that's not like necessities, like she has to buy it. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, you're telling me that if we go to the store and there's a book that she wants, we're not going to buy it. I was like, no, she has to earn that. And I think back to that now, like it was just, that was how I was raised. And in my mind, like that was the norm. And anything else, I was like, you're spoiling her. And then my wife likes the story of the beaver. That's what she calls it. It was day after Valentine's Day. We're in the store. And I am... walking through, and they have like the very, very discounted stuffed animals, and she chooses the beaver first. She this is last year, and we're going through. I was like, all right, do you want beaver or parrot? She chose beaver, and we just did a few different ones, and beaver won the gauntlet. And when I tell you, it was like $5. It was nothing. Like it had it all. And we start to leave, and there's this gigantic fox that's there, and she was like, fox? I wanted a fox, and I was like, you already have the beaver, baby. And I was like, do you want fox or beaver? She went fox, and we put beaver down, and she went bye beaver. And I was like, God damn it! So I grabbed them both, and my wife sees us walking down the aisle. She was like, "Sucker, you're a sucker."
Yeah, we are a sucker for our children.
Oh yeah,
with that.
Yeah. Oh man, she was born. It was over, man. Yeah. It was over.
If you think that's special, wait till you get your first grandkid. You can't.
Yeah.
I've got buddies that have grandkids, and they be talking about their grandkids. I'm like, oh God, that's just what is wrong with them, you know. But then I had my first grandson, and I was like, oh, now I get it. It's the difference. You just there's no comparison to how different it is.
I'm sure, man. Like, and that's so. I am the uncle and was the godfather at one point to like 7 children, and then luckily like. People have been like, we have other responsible enough friends now. They can be. I was like, great, thank you. We had a rule. I was like, you can't all travel together because if you're in an accident or something happens, I can't take all your kids. But a lot of people call me Uncle Jesse, and that's where Pappy came from. Was I got tired of being Uncle Jesse from Full House, so I took a family name from a family friend from when I was growing up, and he just disappeared one day. Like the man was just like no one knows where he went, but everyone called him Pappy. And so I took that name as Pappy, and I think to myself, I was like, man, I really want to be a grandfather one day. I really do. But I also I'm trying not to like, or already like trying to be conscious of not like pushing that on my kid.
Absolutely.
To be like, you must have children. I need to be a grandfather.
I've got 3. I was bound to have at least one out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to let it play out. Chances are I'll probably get a grandkid, and I'm going to have to let it play out. And if not, I'm going to adopt one somewhere.
There you go.
But yeah.
So I think we've talked about a lot. The Holler Hounds, I don't think we've really touched on the Holler Hounds. This is your group, right?
Yeah, so the Holler Hounds are something that I started up a couple of years ago, and it was a lot more like Southern Rocky when I first started it out. And then as time's gone on, it's been more like we do some like classical folk, like not classical, some classic folk stuff. But then we do stuff that's like kind of more swampy or like dark, spooky stuff that I like quite a bit. Matty Thomas is my banjo player. He was also a harmonica player. And then I've got Abby that plays my bass. Right now we've got Sean on drums. And I'm actually, we're looking for another lead player. Our fiddle player, unfortunately, had to step back with some life stuff. But like, so I'm learning fiddle right now just because I'm like, if I have to learn it, I'll learn it. I've had this project now for a couple of years, really trying to do it more like full band stuff and all that because I've been doing so much solo stuff. This next year we're really trying to kick it off more as well. We have a goal of every other month to release at least one song.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and if not more. It's just I've got the time to do all the editing and all that stuff, so I made it a goal to do that this next year. I'm trying to make my way to a few different states as well. I'm looking at heading to Virginia this summer. I'm looking ahead also towards like Indiana. I think I'm going to try to get all the way to Chicago and then back, and then I have some people in like Tennessee and all that stuff. So
did you say you played in Somersville?
Yeah, Maloney's and stuff in Somersville.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I eat at Maloney's all the time.
Yeah.
Didn't see you coming there. I was definitely showing up.
Yeah, I'm on the back porch of Maloney's. I'm actually, the next time I'm there is for their, what is it? The St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day is a big deal in Somersville.
Yeah, so.
I'm a green coat. Are you familiar with the St. Patrick's Day parade and everything up there?
No.
Oh yeah, the Tractor Bar in Mount Nebo.
Yeah.
Has a big St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, awesome.
And you can pay a fee and become a green coat. It's all charity, and they help people go to college and stuff like that.
I love that.
Yeah, you should come up. What time is your set that night?
Oh, I can't remember. It's usually until like 10, 9 or 10.
Yeah, you should. If you can bring your wife and daughter and spend the day at the parade, and then you'll need a place to rest before then. But if you holler at me, I'll give you a place to chill out and rest. I've got some Airbnbs and stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, the parade and everything, it's a big deal in Somersville. We turn St. Patrick's Day into an event. It's for our little town in West Virginia, you hear that a lot in the bigger cities. Greenville, South Carolina, I used to live there, and they dyed the river green going through the middle of Greenville there. But we don't do anything that big. But yeah, we have a really good parade. It's a party and a half. If it's a 5K or 10K run or something. But if it's exercise, I'm probably not there.
I was gonna say I won't be there for that part.
If it takes exercising to get a demon out of me, I'm probably probably not going to make that one.
No, I feel it. No, we might check that out. My wife is usually on the other side of those parades because she's a bagpiper, and so she's usually like in them. And so she's taking a break this year. So
okay, very good. Well, Jesse, I have enjoyed our time together.
Great.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell me, or anything that?
Oh man,
shows coming up?
Yeah, so we've got. I've got a lot of stuff that if you follow any of my socials, the Holler Hounds on Facebook, it's Jesse Pappy Lee, but it's still tagged as like the Holler Hounds.
Okay.
Find me there. I posted with all the shows that we got that we have, whether they're solo, duo, full band. We had an album come out in June of last year called "There's a War." That's a protest album that I think that you might enjoy. We've got this song February 6th coming out. We've got a lot more that's going to be out. That's that we're really excited for. Yeah, this year I think that we're going to be growing quite a bit.
Are you on Spotify?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And YouTube? Where else can we find you?
The Holler Hounds on all of it. On Apple Music, there was a short time where I was just using Jesse Lee, so some of my music is there because Apple Music won't let you update it.
Okay.
But almost everything else is under the Holler Hounds.
Okay.
We have a music video also called "Witch on the Hill." It's another spooky song of ours that I filmed in Martinsville, in my hometown, because it's so like mountainous and like a little hilly and wooded that we did a thing there in this cabin from the 1800s there. So yeah, I mean, check that out. The music video is fantastic. I think we did a great job for a $2,000 budget. So
that's pretty impressive.
We tried our best, man. But no, I guess, do you have any other questions? Or
I could ask you questions all day long. Because the banjo's there, I kind of want to hear banjo songs.
Oh, yeah.
Do you do any banjo?
I do.
Okay.
So
I feel like I'm putting you on the spot, but I kind of like some banjo music. So
let's get her down.
Can you hold something or?
No, you can obviously hold this here. So this banjo is, I modified it, and it uses Nyla guts now, and it's tuned a whole step down.
So this is a bear drinking moonshine?
Yeah, it is a bear drinking moonshine. There, we can get some B-roll close up. You can throw it in there later.
Okay.
I've gotten sawtooth right now, sawmill. You know how you get two banjo players in tune with each other?
Go ahead and tell me.
You shoot one of the banjo players. I'm going to move the mic down a little bit so you can hear that because it's a very quiet. So these are usually much quieter, especially because I don't have a thimble on for it. But so let me do a little thing here. I am the man, Thomas. I am the man. Look at these nail scars here in my hand. They speared me in the side. house. I am the man. Spin me in the side tones. I am the man. There's a little something there. Yeah, a little of that. I like to play a lot of it in the sawtooth the tuning. Oh yeah, there we have a song that I play the banjo on. There's a war in the homeland, in our backyards there's a war. A fight that we have fought once before. Took our children and our men, don't make the mistake again. There's a war in the homeland, there's a war. Up and down, the fight's coming to our town. Let our sweat to shine their golden crown. The preachers at the top make a killing from our crop. Up and down, we are fighting the way down. Hold the line another day, something better is on the way. Where people come together, all to say, my neighbor's not the one to blame. He's not the one that digs my grave. New day is coming any day. A little bit of that.
Very good. I like it.
Thank you. A little bit of that banjo there.
I like it.
Maddie's a much better banjo player than I am, but I learned. I don't know. I started to try to learn like the fast scrug style, three finger banjo, and then I really got more into Rhiannon Giddens, and so with Rhiannon Giddens, she plays like a gourd banjo that's fretless, wonderful musician. I definitely check her out.
Definitely.
Yeah. She's got like a master's in the banjo and like history and all of that stuff.
Wow.
The banjo is actually an African music instrument. It's from the slave trade and it was popularized in the Caribbean, and it became more popular in the United States from the slaves and then minstrel shows put on by white folks. Which, if you don't know what minstrel shows are, it's where you wear blackface and you make fun of black people.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, minstrel shows, and they would take banjos and they'd play those, and very poor communities would play, banjo and all that stuff. You'd find that in both white and black communities, but they became really popularized by the public eye by making fun of black people, and it's a very percussive. It's supposed to be a very percussive instrument, so. That kind of play style, as opposed to like the real fast, kind of thing. But it became popular, and the Rhiannon Giddens is a black woman that she really plays the historical style banjo, and very, very, very talented woman.
When you say, was it a 5-string or 4-string at that time?
I believe it was it would have been a 5-string at that time, because you still would have had that like drone, as opposed to like the Irish banjo.
When I was in insurance, that's where I was going. When I was in insurance, I had an Irish customer, and he had a 4-string, and he said we don't keep a beat.
No.
He said that 5th string is just your beat. He said we don't give a damn about a beat.
Yeah, so that's where with them it's much more. It's very much more melody. I'm out of tune, so I cannot do what I was just trying to do. So this is standard banjo tuning. Well, half step down because of the banjo I'm on, but it's most of them are going to be in that. So that would be more. It's going to be more style of like the Irish banjo, that kind of thing. And then there's the 3-string Earl Scruggs style that I don't enjoy playing. It's very hard to play on one of these. But then, so. some people actually will beat the head on when they're doing the clawing.
I enjoy. I'm sure you've seen the same thing where they take a guitar and use it as a drum. I love all that. The one man band thing where he's got the kick pedal and he's playing everything at one time. That always just I'm fascinated by that. That's a whole lot of coordination.
I tell you what I want to learn is the Carolina Chocolate Drops, which is also a band that she was in. There's the percussion player uses beef rib bones for a lot of stuff. And so instead of spoons, he'll take beef rib bones because that's a popular thing in the Appalachians, and he'll play them and stuff like that, and do the rattle and all that stuff.
Wow, I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, I think that they do that on the song "Cornbread and Butter Beans." They do a version of that one.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's very cool. But yeah, Brianna Giddens in general, definitely. If you ever do play video games at all,
no.
She would actually do a lot of music for a video game called Red Dead Redemption 2, and a lot of it is just her. She does like the opening song for it, but the rest of it is just a lot of her just in the background, like.
It must be interesting. I can imagine playing a video game to banjo.
Yeah, oh yeah, and there's a lot of banjo in it. It's it's a lot of it's her just in the background, kind of jamming out on her banjo, very slow, like kind of stuff, and then other stuff. It's fascinating. But anyway, Brianna Giddens, if you ever want to listen to a real traditional style banjo,
I'll look it up on the way out of here today.
Yeah,
absolutely. I want to ask you one more question, if it's okay. I see your tattoo here. It looks like a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So do you mind? Sometimes that's usually pretty personal, so I want to be careful about putting you on the spot.
I have no clue what that is.
Okay.
So I stole half of it, and I kind of designed around it as well on this one. I have no clue what it says, and it's not registered with any scan app that I know of, because I've tried to do it and there's nothing. But I have thought about trying to come up with a phrase and then make it look sort of similar to that and just say something outlandish on it.
I think you could write a piece of music to that.
Yeah, just find out what I'm doing. I'll be like, and make something up really deep about it. The truth is, I have no clue. I was drinking and I found the design and I thought it was neat. So
that's great. Well, Pappy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to identify with Pappy because my grandson named me Pap, so I kind of identify with that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Your story is beautiful. Your story will develop. I really wish I'd asked you more about Clay County and your farming there. Do you want to tell me anything about that before we jump out of here?
I killed so many rabbits.
Did you eat them?
Yes.
Okay.
So we did rabbit farming was a big thing. We had chickens and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. My wife very quickly found out that homesteading was dirty. We had goats, and this cracked me up. Every time we get an animal, she's like, I hate birds. So she didn't like working with chickens. And then we got the rabbits, and she's like, they're too cute, and when you kill them, it's awful. And I'm like, yeah, it sucks, but we got to butcher them. Then we got goats, and she was like, we're going to milk these goats. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I got them all set up, and we had our first kid, and I tried to milk the goats, and they hated my big doofy hand. Hated them. My wife could milk them like crazy, but we were getting going. I was like, all right, your new schedule. I was like, you've got to do that twice a day. She's like, I'll do it once in the morning, once on lunch. I was like, no, it's a 12-hour cycle. And she's like, what? She's like, I've got to get up. She's like, I don't want to be in that barn after dark, with how far it was from the house and all that stuff. She's like, there's no way. I was like, then you've got to get up at 6 a.m. and milk them goats. And she's like, no. And so I was like, what in the world? So she didn't want to do that. And then when we had our first we had a doe, and I was holding her and petting her, and she's looked at me. She's like, how are you going to do it? Because we're going to eat them too. She's like, how are you going to do it? I was like, butcher. And she named her Dottie, which is a mistake. And I was like, I'd use a 22. I've got a handgun in there that I'll hold her, and I'll make sure she's comfortable and all that stuff, and I'll be sweet to her, and we'll give her treats. But then, yeah, I was like, well, I'll do it quick with the 22. And she's like, I'll kill you. It was like, we have to farm things. Like, we've got all these animals, and I can't kill nothing. I can't eat nothing. I was like, what are we doing? And she was like, I don't think I want to do this.
Farming is fun until you actually do it.
Yeah, and even with our rabbits, I would make it because I've hunted my entire life, and it's for me like also growing up with like conservation and stuff in my family. It was important to me, like, to make the difference. So, like, and like pay respects. So every day before I would do a butcher day with rabbits, I'd go into town, and I'd drive all the way into town from Clay County. I'd grab a coffee, and I would just kind of sit there and think and contemplate. Then I'd go and I'd butcher this big, the rabbits, and sometimes we do like 20 in a day, and I'd butcher rabbits and all of that stuff. And pay my respects, and we make sure we use as much as possible. That my wife we grew up very different, and for me it was just kind of like it of course like touches some part of your soul, but like for me it was life, and there was for her, I think the turning point with the rabbits was with the rabbit heads, we'd feed those to our dogs. We still had dogs, but we had them. They were farm dogs at the time. And I threw one of those rabbit heads to a dog that we had at the time, and it just like that and swallowed the head. She went,
that was that.
Yeah, I was like, that was metal. And she was like, get it away. And she went inside, and I was like, we're done. We're so cooked. she is not into this at all. Yeah, but anyways, she watched me butcher one rabbit, and I did a hanging. And I'm not getting graphic, but I did it by with a noose is how I did it, because I didn't want to miss with a gun, and then the broom method is kind of like wonky and all that stuff.
Here's the broom method.
You put a broom on their neck and then you pull their feet up, and it's not always effective. With the noose, you're holding them, they feel calm. You put the noose on, then you pull their feet as fast as you can, and it kills them instant. So I did it once, and of course they have a lot of twitch fibers, and like it was kicking against the post that I had it on, and was spinning around like it's dead, it's gone, like its head is detached from like the skin is the only thing holding it. And my wife saw that, and she was like, I'm going inside, never again I'm watching you butcher rabbit.
This may be the most unpopular podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
Left that sit right there.
You can bleep it all out.
No, I think I'll leave it in there.
Yeah, I'm a bunny murderer. No, we did that, and I wanted to replace as much food as possible, like with what we were raising, all that stuff. But like, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's ugly too. Yeah. But it's also a lot prettier than like the over-industrialization of meat in the United States. Like the meat industry, I respect farmers, I really, really do. But like, the way that we treat our animals is not fair. Like and there are some farmers that do it really well, but we can't ethically. With how our farming systems are set up and with the population of the United States, we can't ethically feed all of the people in the way that we do, not unless we expand more on farms.
If we become more localized, I think we can.
Yes.
I believe that the mass farming is a detriment to the ground, the earth.
I agree.
To everything. I think that farming has become just too industrialized, as you said.
Agreed. Yeah, and more localized. Like going to local butchers if you can. And I know it can be expensive, but it'd be less expensive. So like, there's a place called DeMoss Smart where they have to have all halal meat there.
What is it?
Halal meat.
What does that mean?
DeMoss Smart. So it has to be like prepared in a certain way.
Okay.
But by the Muslim faith.
Okay.
And so. They have to go all the way to Detroit to get halal meat because they can't find a farm here that's able to do it. And that's very specific, but like in general, like that just shows how little, and like either that people know about local farmers and stuff like that. Go to your farmers markets, man. Like farmers markets almost always have a butcher, and like the meat's decent priced. Like it's not as much as it is at a butcher shop even. Right. A lot of the times the meat's very quality. I'll go there because I enjoy things like cow tongue and stuff like that.
I'll let you have that.
Yeah, cow tongue tacos, man. Divine. And like, so we'll go with that. We just enjoy farmers markets in general, like supporting local.
Since you're bringing up stuff that I find disgusting, I want to go ahead and ask you: have you eaten squirrel brains?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up eating squirrel brains, but I talked to people about it, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, the squirrel brains. I was gonna say I've eaten some gross shit.
that's the grossest thing. Well, pickled pig's feet's pretty nasty.
That's just foul. So like, that's foul. It's awful. But I've tried things like coyote. Coyote's terrible.
I have no desire.
It's gross dog. It really is.
I have no desire to eat dog or cat or
Yeah, I've eaten that. I've eaten raccoon stuff like that. So, and I've tried it. It's just terrible.
I didn't even honestly enjoy bear meat, to be honest with you.
I've heard bears like sweet venison.
It was really greasy and gristly.
Yeah.
They had a lot of gristle to it. You know how you eat some meats and you get that wax film and
Yeah.
talking about that's what. So I'm sure it wasn't prepared properly. Maybe it just needed to be boiled off first. But I did not enjoy that.
I've not had it before. Rabbit is one of those things where it's the opposite. There's so little fat on it, that you've got to really be careful on how you cook it.
I've got 7 acres in Somersville, and I've got rabbits everywhere. And I keep thinking I'll pull the BB gun out and pop one off.
Yeah,
it's free meat, but
try it.
Oh, I've had it when I was a kid. I used to do it all the time, but
Yeah.
I haven't done it. I have not killed a rabbit and eaten it in. I'm old now. It's been at least 40 years.
Yeah. It's for me. I already knew how to clean them, so that was easy. From growing up with it and all of that stuff. But the difference was just how big they are. That was the thing that they're just monsters.
I used to struggle between, do I kill a deer or do I kill a couple rabbits? And the thing is, you kill a deer, you eat for 6 months. You kill a rabbit, you eat for a day.
Yeah.
So if I got to take a life, I'd just as soon take something that I can eat for a long time.
The deer.
Do it over and over every day.
Oh yeah.
I guess I don't really have that killer instinct. I don't have a problem with it, but it's just not. Sometimes it just doesn't feel necessary.
I don't. So, for instance, everything you'll see here that I collect, I don't believe in trophy hunting.
No, absolutely not.
Nothing here I have killed. These are all things that have been sourced that are already dead. And things like that. So there's behind you, there's a beaver thing that I actually bought from a place that's a beaver jaw.
Okay.
That was collected from the wild. I've got a bucket of. I sound like a serial killer. I've got a bucket of deer bones upstairs because near here there was a deer that they just let sit until it was nothing but bones. And finally one day I was like, okay, and I collected the bones and I finished macerating them and finished with degreasing the bones and all of that. And stuff I don't believe in killing for that kind of stuff. I think it's silly, but I believe in hunting. I believe in the sourcing of meats and types like that. And
there's a right and a wrong way to do pretty much everything.
we are the only animal that has that responsibility. A tiger doesn't know, to ethically kill another animal, a lion, a bear, but we know better.
Absolutely. Okay, I've kept this yak.
Sorry,
I don't know how long we've been talking at this point, but I've enjoyed it and I appreciate it, and I don't think we're out of video yet, so we're all right.
Good. We're here still. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a blast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'll be seeing you around at different places and listening to your music, and I'm looking forward to it.
No one can stop me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.